Good morning to the Bund session of today's Wednesday. It's the 24th of July 2019. Yeah, if you had a look to my outlook, you see that there is the very interesting level about the 77, which already got tested now in the pre-market. Actually, it was about half an hour ago when they tried to go lower, but they got rejected here before the LVN came from this lower distribution. This is a minor distribution. This is actually more the region where the longs started from yesterday. Means that they prices could go above it and then build a value in this region, which is also a little bit blurred as it is and totally usually when it's more like a trendish character. But the main distribution is for me this level around 7, now a little bit lower, around the 75 up to the maximum 89 level. This little area here above is also more like a kind of minor distribution. You see, this is some kind of pivot point, pivot level here. Means that the short started here, and means not shorts but taking profits. And right now we're inside and opened very rangy, like balanced character, like within this market. I would look for retest of this a little bit now, move to the downside level, not 77 but 75, 76 for responsive buying, to buy here for the range long. If then there is no responsive buying around here and we see that they make it again to the low and can build a little bit value and increasing selling volume at the 74, then we can trade a short, but beware of it is against the big picture. But there is at least a little chance that the distribution got traded through and we can reach the 68 to 65 area. This is a little bit smaller target area, but still worth a trade. And the other side is if they prices can build value again. After being maybe in a range long would be of course the best scenario. You are already in the range long and then prices can build up value again also above yesterday value high, means we go in this minor distribution. That could be then at least the target 92 or 97 with the high of yesterday. And if there is enough strength in the market, then you don't even have to break up this position, because if you see strength, then even here you could go with this position, and till there's a reason to say that would be then technical rejection at the high of all time or the monthly high here at the 05. So this is my trading plan. You can read it in my hypos at manapa.de. And so we're now waiting what the participants play out, or if they just stay within the range and we see only then a balanced and range market. although there are a few numbers you have to be aware of. This will have some impact on the markets and of course on the volatility. And there's two important numbers. First at 9:30, this is the German flash manufacturing PMI, a German flash services PMI, and then at 10 a.m. the same thing but for the European Union. So 9:30 and 10 o'clock. The German flash manufacturing PMI 9:30 and 10 a.m. The flash manufacturing PMI and flash services from the Eurozone. Those two numbers are of importance. And then at the afternoon there will be the same thing, flash manufacturing, but for the US. So if you're trading on the afternoon or the New York session, I also have to be beware this will be short after the open at 3:45 p.m. Central European Summertime. So mark that in your calendar. And there is only also some numbers now 9:15. They are mediocre, not super important, but also can have some impact. As of course France is the one of the more important country economically, maybe the second important to next to Germany, and there will be also the flash manufacturing index at 9:15. So this is in about 5-6 minutes. So if possible, if you're then in a position, be sure that you got a safety stop. Of course, you should have always a stop, but if there is increasing volatility, beware of it. 9:15, mediocre. And right now in the Bund, you see people selling a little bit. It's right now only short-term trading, no OTF appearance yet, and all summed together a little bit more selling in this phase and in this phase, and here you see some people selling and it's got absorbed right now. Of course, we're in the middle of nowhere, sitting here in the middle of yesterday's main distribution, sitting here comfortable. People who are long time invested in the long positions or in the midterm, nothing here to comment, and just watch and chill. So within the next, or in about 30 seconds, the French numbers are about to announce. This is why I'm not now looking for the entry here. And you see the numbers are coming, and now you see that here. Yeah, was pretty some buying here, huh? Yeah, absolutely. So this is what I mean with volatility rising. I mean, if you're here in a position and looking for the short side, then you have a trouble if your stop's not taking you out, because maybe there's some slippage, you never know. That can always happen on a market. I mean, that's no guarantee. And of course, I said just in the second before the prices plopped up to the upside, I just said, okay, I'm not looking for the positioning. I meant, of course, the long here, because we're at my hypo level for the range long. But if you're a trader, this means not to make you jumping after it. You have to be calm and have to accept this. Sometimes you're not with the market, and that's no problem for me, at least. Yeah, but you see the reaction now, just objectively on the numbers, which were obviously better than expected. Yeah, and oh, sorry, they were they were weaker, which gives us some advantage to the stock markets, which normally reacts in a down move, and bond markets as the secure harbor is more the opposite thing happening, because expected was 52.7 and then they got 52.2, and the other numbers were expected 51.6 and then they were 50. Okay, all right. Yeah, sometimes they react in this divergence from the stock markets to the bonds, and sometimes there's a correlation and there are convergence. Anyway, I don't trade news. And now we need to have a look where is the stabilization, because you see this was just news driven, this first move, even though it is an impressive streak for the Bund from 77 to 14, which means about 40 ticks, but you see that there's the quick reaction. This means this was driven away from value too fast and too wide. This is an unfair level here. People sold it really quick with taking the wins, but also you see right now we are in an interesting level, and we need to stay concentrated now, because this is the yesterday value area high, and it's also the region now value right now is built at the top of the minor POC and the minor distribution from yesterday, and it's also again the yesterday value area high. That means we see now values built here, and if time and price gives us the opportunity, when you look here in the TPO, you also see it that right now there's only the single prints, which is not giving us an advantage here. But you can see that in the volume, anyway, then in the volume there is some acceptance at this level. That means this would be now in our hypo with the range long we didn't get because it was news driven, and now acceptance above would mean if prices don't plop back to this region here but got acceptance, this is the springboard level for the long continuation. That means one need to look for a cheap entry in this scenario right now. And where is my trading window? Oh, it's already open. Here it is. So We need to see that this acceptance here above my 96 area, which is the edge of the yesterday, the high volume node, and the edge of this upper distribution. You see it here. This was the level, and this is where we need to build. Now where we now find acceptance. So the entry level is now here in the cheap region around the 96. If we don't get it, then we need to wait for the bounce, for the pullback to this area. But only a pullback trade to the long side, only trade if now this attempt to the upside again doesn't end with a harsh rejection of sellers, okay? So that means prices can go up, and then with speed getting rejected, this wouldn't be good. Then I would not look anymore for this bounce back, pullback level to get into the trade. If it's smooth and low, slowly, and seeing that price is still and the price action is still on our side, that means everything in the tape is not too bearish the way down and then too much increasing selling volume, then everything is fine, and you can look for this re-entry here, this region around this pullback level here around. Right now we're building value, and I'm looking for a cheap entry if there is no harsh rejection now back. Everything is looking fine right now. We see increasing volume on the upside. Here you see this on the way up. We see the volume increases again. Now we're looking for a smooth bounce back, which can take maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes. It's all possible, as long as there are no hard rejection on the upside. That means that they don't have to make it the first time above the actual day high, but they have time, and as long as it's not a hard rejection, everything is okay, and we just wait for prices coming to the activity zone and don't run after, because in this distribution here, with the acceptance right now above the yesterday value high, it's still here the entry level at this volume edge region for me around the 96 area. And as I didn't want to get into it too early, because in my play I want to see some absorption signs, and as it was news driven, I really want to see that there's a traded acceptance now after the news, a traded acceptance of other time frame traders that using this bounce back level, this yesterday value highest entry. So we need to find now a pullback, and if there is no pullback but price is running and running and running and running, then you may don't get this trade. If that's a problem for you, that's not good. So just think, okay, there was a trade, I didn't get it, and so what? That's okay. There's another possible entry after the first correction and consolidation. If there is some trend now going on, we wait for a pullback to the LVN, which then may created with value again here above and some LVN. Then we waiting for the pullback. I would do that at least if there's only some kind of first wave of trend impulse phase was going on. This is another possible entry level, and well, in between there's nothing to do but watch. In the bigger picture, you see that there's the week high we are right now, and it's also the month high that was at the 06 level we already took out a little bit, and now fighting a little bit if we can get higher again into the area we was with this initial move, news driven initial move. Right now we are around this area 05, 04. This was the old high of this month and all time. So they take on this as well, they build value here as well, and it's all bullish. So I'm gonna wait, and now 3 minutes, remember only 3 minutes to go. Then there are the German numbers, which are even have more importance, and also of course the impact in May rising volatility. And this is 9:30, the German flash manufacturing and German flash services PMI. Expected flash manufacturing is the 45. No, previous is 45, forecast 45.1, and the flash services is for previous 55.8 and forecast 55.3. So they do expect in the flash services a lower number and a little bit higher number in the German flash manufacturing. So we will see. The more important number, by the way, is the manufacturing. All right, not the services, but the manufacturing. That means it is expected weaker a little bit, and let's see how weak it then is, or if it's even stronger. And think of it the same influence like in the French numbers. Weaker numbers will be better for bond and not so good for the stocks, and stronger numbers would be better for the stocks if they're reasonable, bigger, stronger, and not so good for the bond. But I don't trade this news. I'm not a news trader, and then I will be not into a position right now at the moment when it happens. only if I can get into it before, but this should have been right now, and right now I'm not looking here for the entry because we're not in the activity zone. So we're waiting now for the numbers. Yeah, it looks like, again, very weak numbers. Bund got bought like hell and got pushed up from the area 04. Now we are at 51. This is a almost 50 ticks move. You don't see that very often. This is very seldom. Okay, this is very seldom in Bund. But if they're of course on news and they have a lot of impact, then of course you see something like this. There were several contracts traded, but most of this whole streak there wasn't even real volume involved. This means they pushed with a lot of volume and different numbers here up, but yeah, see how this goes. So that means again not good for the stock markets. This weak numbers, very weak numbers, but good for the bonds because people then going looking for the secure harbor. And again, no trade here for me, because imagine the numbers would be good and you would be in this long position and maybe not got traded. You see that in the dome. There are several numbers starting from 17, 18, 19, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. There was even not one contract traded in the, on the buy side and the sell side a little bit. And that means they push this really, and it spiked really quick to the upside. Really, really quick. And yeah, now I have to wait. Prices, you see this? This is a very quick move to the upside. This is not confirmed by volume, and you see what happened. Prices falling back. We were at the 51 now. Few minutes, not even a minute later, we're back at the 24 level. Yeah, I mean, yeah. There were in the composite, there were 52 estimated, and then there is a 51.4. Yeah, this is even a percent lower. And in the services PMI, which is not so important, the number were quite the same, 53 expected and then 55.4. So no change, but at the market composite, the more important that we see 52.4 to 51.4. So this is a 1 percent point lower. Yeah, which is really not so cool. And manufacturing PMI, sorry, this was the more important 45.2. It's even only 43.1. Wow, so this is really weak numbers, really weak numbers. But hey, that's how it goes. Okay, now we're seeing, this is good. We're seeing now the entry level here, maybe. Right now I'm waiting here for some absorption because now we're at the LVN. So this we built with this trend of first distribution, now in between the 23 to 31, but this is not strong enough right now. That's still weak because value hasn't followed price yet, which have to happen for me, but we want to see some real interest. It means people should sell into this level 40 to the 23, 22 area and 24, 23, 22 area, and we want to see some absorption. If they do absorb, and if they do absorb the prices here now at the 20, 21, 22, then we see there's real interest and people are accepting this area and telling me that there is a fair price now about to be created, and then I'm gonna look here for a re-enter in this long move. If there's no absorption, that means they're not pricing this value fair, but then we would see then prices falling back or filling out this low volume node, which is right now happening around this here. Let's see at the trading window. Okay, so you see this better here. We see this low volume node. We need to find acceptance, I said first right now here. See some absorption. Then you can look here for the cheap entry price, because then we have this distribution, at least for a risk reward, could be filled out and traded back to the at the moment value. And if there's no acceptance, nobody, that means nobody absorbing here. And you see that when delta falls and prices do fall, there's a convergence and nobody absorbing. This would be not the sign to look for the trade here. And yeah, so either if this happens with the absorption, then we look for the long entry. you got nothing to do, okay? So price is now at the upper end here of this distribution, and the entry level is still this area here of the 2021 area. And you see that they playing still in the long, and of course we need some management for our trades, calculating the risk and everything. So either you already got into it at this moment when I said look for the absorption, okay, this was at this time, and they also got rejected quite quick then and find new buyers coming in. And if you take this approach, then you wait for the pullback again, waiting maybe for some consolidation around here, and looking then from a cheap entry price here at the lower volume edge. And right now you see that there is some acceptance taking place. You see that now the value and the POC that followed the price. So Bund expecting another, maybe our market participants expecting that this is still cheap price and we are people buying, okay? People buying. And remember then at 10 a.m. At 10 a.m. there will be the manufacturing index for the Euro, for the European Union, the flash manufacturing and flash services. Again, more important, the flash manufacturing. Previous 47.6, forecast 47.6. That means, very simple, if the numbers are higher, let's say 47.9 or 50, then you will see that would be good for the stock markets, or neutral. And if they fall, maybe 47.3 or 2 or whatever, this will be also the third time today morning that this would be weak for the stock market, and also would give Bund a third push to the upside. The same game as before. Yeah, you guys see that they still buying, still taking this area, take on this area still. judging our price given information that this is still too cheap. That means they still trying to buy on this, and maybe they also now front running the European numbers, which of course have a higher probability that also be weak as the French and the German numbers. So there's a little bit all the time when people got remembered that we're so overbought in a lot of markets globally in the stocks, which is obviously not in terms of the same equal relation to the real economy. Then they got remembered all the time when they see bad numbers now, and that may be the rising of the markets, that may be some cool down, and of course then people go into the bond markets more, and it's always weakening for the stock markets, and maybe they are a little bit front running, and yeah, remember that's what it looks like then, and train yourself and not do this. Don't run after price then and trying to get an entry if there is no calculable risk reward. So this is very important, because you can be lucky on this day if you just gambling around and take on a trade, and you may also fail, and you see the high volatility, you see the high changes in prices, so you need to have a play for this. And it's what I said before. When we going back to the morning, we see this was my area number 1, where I said we want to see that there is nobody selling into it. When they sell, we want to see that there is a rejection, and then we see that they trade through this range. After the open, they tested this area again, and really quick in this moment, the problem was for me, I'm not traded this because there was just too less time for me, because there were the numbers announced at 9:15, so I didn't trade it. And the same thing here, the retest, then the bounce back, I didn't get the price did not didn't catch me, so then you stay flat, but you're not clicking at the top, you're not top tip Tommy, okay, you're not clicking at the top area of this area just to get into, because you can then a high probability to collect a series of losers, which you may not handle good, because if you're not totally professional trader and beware of your emotions, then you can crash your account. You can crash it so quick. And this is very important. You need a game, you need some play, you need a strategy, and you also have to work on your mindset. And right now there's nothing to do. Even people, when they ask me, where can I trade now? Where to enter? Just try to stay calm and watch the market. And a good entry area will create itself with pullbacks with the LVN and numbers. The next numbers, 8 minutes to European manufacturing, very important. Again, then the forecast is 47.6 and 47.6 before, and forecast 47.6. That means wait for these numbers. There will be again high rise in the volatility, and again Strengthsverbund if the numbers are bad, and of course then weakness for the pressure for the stock markets. Right now nothing to do, and this is just a high volatility move phase today with this important numbers, and because of their weakness. All right, you can watch now. This is important now. This is the pullback level now. We're at this low volume node area from 36 to 38. You see that the people who sold into it got now a little bit absorbed. And so this is the area where you can look now for a entry, because if the prices then can stay at this area, we have a cheap calculate risk. Now on the downside, just with a 4 tick stop around here, and that's totally okay. Then if you got stopped out, there's only 4 ticks loser, but you got a high potential, high reward still on the upside. If prices can go back to the high of this running day, then there's also the probability that if there are news coming, you're not too quick. The danger getting stopped out because price is already some ticks away, okay, from your entry level, means from this 39, 38, 40 area. And yeah, if the same weakness appears in the European numbers, then you have a chance to participate on the move, but again, only if you get a cheap entry and seeing this around here, this area where we're right now at the 38, 39, and 40, because then you only lose 4 if it's not working. If there's no more interest in buying, or people say, okay, now we're in a fair value, and that's okay. But the reward on the other side is a 10, 20, 30 ticks. So this is quite good, huh? Isn't it? Absolutely. All right, folks, I'm out of this position. Got stopped out now, as this low volume node couldn't attract this early rejection, couldn't attract the absorption, couldn't attract new buyers coming in, but they were looking even below the 38, the 37, the 36, and then at the 35. So this is some kind of little bit of weakness as they looking back to the POC right now at the moment. 32 means that overall, of course, this long thin area is still on, but for the micro level, for me, they didn't want to see that weakness. And even though they started to buy now again, for this micro level, this wasn't what I wanted to see. So we'll wait for the next chance. Now there's still some LVN area in between this level of 33 to 35, and we see if there's again this absorption, and again people then starting to absorb and getting back to buying. Then that's the next area where you look for this long entry, but this must have to happen right now because we're all again very close to the numbers. It's 9:56, so we don't get the chance. So what? No problem. Yeah, guys, take care of your position now. It's about 30 seconds before the European numbers. Very important also manufacturing. There will be also service numbers. Now you see already volatility rises. Some people got out of the position. Some people speculating now for again weaker numbers that would strengthen for the Bund. Yeah, if you want to play this game, you have to be expert. You have to be pro with this. This means you have to be a news trader. You have to know everything around it. You have to know what impact. You have to know some. You may have to know some things before. And I'm not a news trader. I'm not a news trader. Don't ask me. All right, again, a little bit weaker numbers. Not so much impact now, not so much impact this time. But you see, maybe price now a little bit too high, and we now finding balance somewhere in this area, in between the 174.20 and the 174.45 area. So this means it's now priced in. People did not react on this also weak numbers anymore so strong. That means Bund didn't take a third wave for higher prices and looking for fair prices low. So yeah, that's it right now. And what you can do now, as it's 10 o'clock, you can wait now for more lower volatility now, for more consolidation maybe, that prices find acceptance, that everything's slowing a little bit down, and maybe you get some range trades maybe later before it weakens up after 11 o'clock, 11:30. I wouldn't look in there anymore, but right now we need that price is going back a little bit more to balance and to find acceptance, because the more impact or news, the bigger news numbers are, that's it right now. There's only 10:30, the high street of building index from the UK, but that's not very important. And then there will be no more numbers in the morning. Okay, all the other numbers are coming then in the afternoon with the US markets. So 47.6 and 46.4. That's a weak number in the EU manufacturing, but it's it didn't have the impact on the Bund, because I think that was already front running the numbers and priced in. So nothing to do right now, and hope you haven't lost some money yet, even though
there was some money to make, but there was high volatility, and we'll stay here in the live screen, at least live stream until 11 o'clock. So as every day right now, the first 2 hours we're still for free. So catch up and learn.
to fidget.
Price is trying now to find acceptance here in this area. This is now the main distribution of today. See where we came from. News number one, some consolidation, pullback. News number two, some pullback, small consolidation, but only one touch of this area of interest. Now couldn't make a new high, and prices fell back, and you see at this time here the numbers have had no impact anymore and was priced in already. And now we're looking here for this balanced area and see what market now plays out. If you want to look for some range plays, we need to see in the area here around 174.27 some holding and responsive buying, or if they even want to go closer and test this complete edge here around the 22 area, we want to see the same behavior, and only then we look for the range buy. This would be the best risk reward then so far, because now we have the opportunity to trade through the whole range, to the POC and the whole range, and we also have on our side the VWAP, and this already here tested low area which got rejected from the downside. So this will be the better area here for the long trade. And anyway, nothing to do so far. We need to see that the price is now coming for responsive buying to this here, as there's obviously right now nobody's searching now for the trend again. This can happen later if there's some new information coming into the market, or with the afternoon session but useful play would be looking for the range. For the range.
Geopolitical.
Yeah, and some words here to the EFO business confidence. EFO business confidence is expected to fall again in July as geopolitical concerns weigh heavy on the minds of managers in Germany. And yeah, that's what I said before. These numbers, when they are then announced and are weaker, then this will have, of course, impact. And this also in the mind of the market participants to be aware and this evoke this the danger of a weaker economy, and then also have an impact on the markets. No.
Yeah, hello again. Yeah, you can see that prices stay within this in this value here. It's a little bit tightened up now. That means prices stayed on this high volume edge around the 29.30, the POC 32, which attracts new buyers. And these buyers come in here, and we stay in this range. You've seen also that the volume is, of course, now with the last numbers trying a little bit up. Trying up. And responsive selling here. And prices looking going back to the range low to this volume edge. Nothing to do here. And if you have any question, just write a message here to the public chat or a direct message. If it's in general about the today development or just questions, here to the trading with volume profile. And I assume that you have some advanced skills already. So this is our network here. We are looking for at least people have some basic knowledge, advanced knowledge in volume profile, auction theory, and may not be fully developed in terms of trading mindset, which is of course the most important and then most complex or complicated thing, because trading itself is simple, not easy. But the problem is, if it's simple, why it's then not easy? It's not easy because of our mindset. And it's not easy because there's no awareness of our true inner emotions, which are a result of our behavioral patterns. I repeat this again and again because this is what you need to know. And for all the technical questions, we can provide here a proven knowledge, which we are all proven trader on the exchange here in Frankfurt on the Eurex. And I think we have the complete knowledge about derivatives and options, of course, first of all futures, and here those contracts we trade live every day, which is obviously in the morning for Matthias the DAX and the Eurostocks, and for me it's the Bund future. So you can ask us questions if you want to. When I have time,
I can answer you, and always assume that you have already some basic knowledge and volume profile about futures, derivatives, and auction theory. So if you don't have, get some books, read some books, and make and get you to this basic advanced or to this advanced level. And so we're not going to talk about what is a candle or what is volume profile or something. This is the basic you have to know. And I really hope very much that you be aware of this, because if you really want to trade futures and you don't have this basic knowledge, then you're absolutely at the wrong place. This is very important. Not waste your time, and don't give away your maybe hard-earned money. All right. But for every question, I'll technically advanced questions, auction theory, derivatives, and I can answer it. I may have an answer to some things. You may even have more knowledge than I have. We will find out. You can ask me questions. Use the public chat, so everybody can share the information here, and everybody can participate. So if you have any questions, use the public chat to this today bond markets or in general advanced knowledge. It's given for volume profile, auction theory, and this stuff. You worry. I'm looking forward to hear from you guys. All right, we're now at this higher volume edge from this main distribution here. So this is a good moment now to look for responsive buying as the delta is quite flat, and to go here for the possible range long. And risk reward is okay right now here because volatility is again at a normal level, and we see at least a potential here from the 29 area to the 35, 36. Yeah, now, right now we need to see an absorption or a rejection here for the entry, because the first entry wasn't working right now. You see that it wasn't working. So we need to see now, if we even go for the long, we need to see some strong rejection now from the buy side. You can see this here in the footprint. First it holds this area, and then we see that they put pressure into it, and now we see they try it again to sell, maybe proving the lower edge. There's some liquidity provided at the 21 level, around here, 24, and this is also the area where it's okay because there is a kind of edge. You see this here from this area. So the first was here, and now they didn't hold, so that doesn't work out. Now I want to see the rejection, and then responsive buying again here at this area with a very even better risk reward. Take a look by yourself if you can see what it looks like, if there's a rejection and maybe a double proof and another double rejection with increasing volume then and more buying. You need to see this and need to spot this, because this is then your play, what you have to develop at the activity levels that we're looking for, and responsive buying in this case, and for the long for the range. You need to spot this and find these triggers then, and then be confident and trading this levels if the trigger appear. Also, stay flat if they don't appear. Alright guys, this time market didn't pay us, alright? So there were the signs of rejection. There were signs of then with absorption and then starting to get more confidence and buying into it again. But the people that we use as those who pull us, they failed because market decided not to pay them, as there were more participants than coming in and sell into this level. This means that they trying to leave this value. This is built from this today to news driven move around here from the 2120 area up to the high. And this distribution, they decided now, are trying to get fair search for lower prices as fair prices. And it means that the volume, after there was some signs of rejection and some signs of somebody wanted to play the range long here, the bigger player said no, this is really good to sell here because the fair price can be looked maybe lower. And now we will see if they can play this out, stay below this area of 21, 22 with a little pullback right now here and regain power in selling. If they can't, then they have to go back. But now you see that the fundamentals a little bit changing here. The momentum is changing a little bit as price is going below the at the moment value. And these are all signs now for a weakness. That doesn't mean that I'm not looking now for the short because this is against the trend, but the signs is you can trade this now, the short, and make prices look for a re-entering this former consolidation range in between 95 and 174.0809. So this is the LVN area right now, what we see here. And if they can make it back to it and then drive into this value from this consolidation phase after the first news driven long move, increasing volume, and this is where you can play now this short here, but I don't do this because I'm running out of my ammunition today. I reached my my stop loss limit for the day. This is 10 ticks per contract, and then there's no trading more for me. But if you're a trader now looking for a short after this range and seeing that they fail to stay in the range and building volume, there's the chance now they looking to this edge at the 8-9 level. So at least a few ticks, 6-7 ticks are here possible. If they fail now and bigger opponents coming back, participants coming back, then the chance is higher. If they make it up again into this 25-26 area, that they play again the range here. Important is just to stay clear that you then not judge the day or not staying objective after maybe have some failure trades. You just have to know one thing. Is it a technically failure? Is it emotionally failure? Or if it isn't not even one of those two, then it's everything okay. Then market just did not pay you today because there was a bigger participants who forced people getting out of their positions. And as I'm talking about it, they're playing it, the short, which I don't. But I told you that then with the pullback, you see that the volume increases again here. And the chance now they test this value level 8, 9, 10. And let's see if they find fair price and looking for fair price in this lower region here.
Here you can see it. Right now they push through this low volume node and looking to find acceptance here. Still, if you have any question to trading mindset, volume trading with volume profile and market option theory, just put your questions onto the public chat. Normally every day around in the morning for the morning session. So in between 8 to 12 o'clock, I'm normally every day on the desk. And I'm looking forward to hear from you guys and talk in real trade and about all the things that influence our success, making us a constantly profitable trader. It's very important to have a plan and to know that on your way there is a lot of challenges. You have to be very beware, and that's why you need structure and a plan, and also develop trading mindset, because most of you guys who may be into the stream are already proven technically, are already ready, are already having maybe good preparation, already know the relevance of big picture and compared to the micro picture, and playing in the micro picture the risk and the big picture the reward, and see it in context. Maybe you're already at an advanced or pro level, but you maybe still underperform. Then it's all about the theme of trading mindset. And this is most of the time where the people are, that's the reason why they fail in trading. And it's a little bit sad, because maybe some of you guys already have some month or some years behind you and really doing everything. And even if you have the gift to be a disciplined man or woman, then you're wondering why I am still not consistently profitable. And this is caused maybe by your emotions and by your trading mindset. Maybe you change your parameters, maybe you change your indicators, maybe you change your system after losing again. It's looking for new gurus, looking for new forums, looking for new trading guys who tell you what to do. And most of the time it's very often about at the end it's the trading mindset that separates the professional trader from the retailer, from the amateur. So if you have questions, let me know. I'm still online, but I was at the phone for now more than 30 minutes. And I am now having a look and see what happened. So that means price, we're looking for acceptance again, for finding value, and we shift lower to the 174.12. And at this moment they found some acceptance and now trading now from this and now looking for value, and right now having value found around the 174, around the 19 area. Yeah. So let's see how this was looking like before they found the low. Alright, so they tested the 12 area here. The LVN didn't go lower and didn't go into this lower distribution, which was created after the first trend, after the first news, and that means there was the rejection, and now they fill out this low volume node and repair this low volume area around here. There was a double rejection, which one can see here. That was the first time it was tested at 5 minutes before 11, and then they got back here at 11 and 8 and got rejected again. Responsive buying then here already, and they pushing up again and now filling out this distribution. So, well, that's it then for this morning. Happy learning, and we see and hear you later with the recap this afternoon. Maybe I can do it at the afternoon early or at the evening. I have to see, but you will get it anyway. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching from this, again, another morning session. Market didn't pay me in my case, and I didn't get the long trends because I wasn't flat because of the news of the rising volatility. And yeah, that's just how it was today. Thank you for listening and watching. Anton Hapfel for Manapa Trading.